All right. Go ahead and call the, how about that? Just calling the work session to order. What's so happy? As Joe knows, everyone, the meeting is being recorded. It's part of public record. There's no cause for public hearing. As far as I know, there's no old items of discussion. Hearing none. First new item of discussion is opening bids for the parking lot repair. Hallelujah.
We did receive two bids, the first one being from IA Construction.
All right, IA Construction. This includes 4-inch full depth asphalt repair, 2 inches of milling, seal coating, crack filling, line stripping. Total bid $51,364.50. $364.50.
And the next one is from Huber Blacktop.
Huber Blacktopping. They also have 4-inch asphalt, 2-inch milling, all gravel and asphalt, and vibratory roller. And total, grand total's on here. Oh, well, wait a minute. The grand total, it's not the grand total. For that I just listed is $39,475. And then it looks like in addition to that, for crack fill, seal coat, and striping is $9,000 and $9,019. Putting those two pretty close.
Is the second bid for like an ongoing, the second piece for the ongoing maintenance?
And I don't see anything listed here under either scope of work.
No, there's no ongoing maintenance.
Okay.
So Huber looks like a grand total of $48,494.
Okay. It's a little higher. No, it's about what we anticipated, right?
No, I mean, it's higher, but it needs a lot of work, so.
Yeah, it's
I'm not that.
It's also deteriorated a lot over the winter since we last had the engineers look at it.
Well, I mean, when we originally talked about completely redeveloping the lot in order to fix a lot of the drainage issues and stuff, I mean, that would have been between $200,000 and $300,000, so.
Yeah.
Like in order to get the thing fixed, you know, and some of the stuff that the way the bid was set up was to focus on certain areas that are worse than others, so hopefully that'll help.
Okay. Under this, when they go to stripe it, are we changing anything? I think we at least talked about it being 90-degree perpendicular spaces rather than the angled spaces.
The idea was to use the layout that had been proposed by R.W. Larson there are less spaces, but it's more space efficient, especially with moving cars through the lot. Right now, because they try to pack everything in as much as humanly possible, it's really hard to navigate the lot, and hopefully that'll help.
Okay.
And I think we lose most of what we lose is due to the sidewalk, actually,
Right.
because straightening it out also created a few spaces.
Right.
So I think that there's a minimal net loss of parking spaces.
Good. Well, why don't we put that on the agenda for the next meeting, which is next week, right? I don't know.
May
Public comment? Mr. Kelly?
Straighten something out between the county and municipalities. When we get a bid and say that we got the same bid that you're bidding, our code requires us to award the bid to the lowest bidder as long as we feel they're reputable and we have no discrepancies with their country. You do not have to do this?
We do.
With,
So it's the lowest,
unless it's professional services, which this is not. so-
it's the lowest reasonable, like, except, like, so if someone bid like a half of what everybody else bid, you would have a concern that
Yeah.
that they know what they're bidding on and that there could be.
Because there's roughly, we'll say 20,000 difference in this bid.
No,
Both
there's
of
like- there's like $1,000 or
Yeah.
$2,000 difference.
Yeah, it's not quite 2,000.
Okay, I misfigured. But anyhow, the two companies, from my experience with townships, are very reputable. IA does a lot of work for municipalities. Huber does some, but not as much as when his father was in the business.
Yeah. Well, I like to thank Pam and Matt for working together on the bid package. We tried to be as thorough as we could be to give as much data, and that's probably why we got two really good bids. I'm very happy with the bids we got, so.
They're two very reputable companies.
And frankly, that's more important to me on some level than the price. You know, the cost is always a concern, but with these paving jobs, we've had them done poorly at different times in the past, and it all breaks up, you know, and then you're back to square one in a short period of time. You didn't save anything, you know.
Yeah, their description of how they were gonna do it is almost exactly the way I would in Glade Township as far as base coat and
Yeah.
making it, no, they're both very reputable.
So anyway, the reason we're not voting on it right now is because the county code specifies that we open it in a work session, vote on it in a public meeting, which is,
Oh, okay,
would be next Wednesday.
all right.
Okay, anything else related to parking lot?
When does that start, construction?
At the end of, it'll be at the end of the season, will be one of the last projects because of
Towards
the
the end.
other projects going on.
After that, you won't have big globs of stuff getting caught in your car.
Will they be closing, do you know, the entire parking lot, or?
Probably because they have to mobilize all at once. Otherwise, we have to pay more. So, I don't know how long it'll be, because we'll have to get more specifics.
Once the time comes.
But, I mean, it's not unprecedented to have everybody park at, you know, a church parking lot or something, and then have them bus it. So, if it's a day, to have a new parking lot, it's really worth it.
And I don't see it happening today, but you're optimistic.
I mean, one work day.
They did the live parking lot really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
I think so.
They did Glade Manor in 2.5 days. And because the half day was the rain, they had to come back. They're very good when they do it, if you give them the room that they request.
Well, and the thing I would remind everybody of is up until about, whatever it was, 20 years ago, I mean, that lot didn't exist. I mean, this was it, you know? And so, you know, like the parking, you know, no matter how much you give them, you know, it's always going to be an issue.
Okay. Any public comments? Any department updates?
Can we talk about the storage bid, the records thing, or do you wanna?
Yes, as soon as we get to the projects.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I did not want to talk about the price of the bid already. We said that we would go into executive session if we were actually required to talk pricing about accepting one of those proposals, but,
Okay, sorry.
I mean, we're welcome, you know, is there something you want to say about it?
Well, no, I haven't had time to really look into it, and I wasn't sure what anybody was interested in. I have my own thoughts on the whole record storage bit, just because there are different options, you know, and I just thought thought that would be a good opportunity, that at some point we should have that conversation.
Right.
But generally speaking, like I don't have anything specific to bring to the table other than the discussions that I've had with Matt about potentially, that I had with Matt and Eric about potentially building something inside the warehouse on the far end that would be like a take all the wood that we use that has all the wire on the one side and use all that to build an interior structure that would be like temperature controlled and dry on that end. It wouldn't cost that much at all.
Right, okay.
But my point is like, if we wanted in the short term to have a short-term solution, like records-wise, like having a rental space until we have that set up is reasonable. Like especially with the situation of the warehouse being what it is with part of the roof disappearing.
I kind of wonder if insurance would pay for part of that.
That's what I mean, like, you know, that could be like a concerted project, like a concerted effort to address that. And I think that there's plenty of space in the warehouse to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So like what Matt and I talked about was having a man door or person door on the one side of the building. So trying to be sensitive. A person door on the end of the building so that all the directors would have access to that, and then they would just be able to go directly right in, and then you know, work with Pam and the records committee to have it set up with have it organized, have like one book that manages all of the records in the space.
So we have an executive session scheduled for immediately before the meeting, the next commissioners meeting, and that's primarily for the solicitor to apprise us of some pending legal cases.
Okay.
Well, actually existing, but whatever. Why don't we tack on that as a part of the conversation where we talk about the bid, and then we can go into the general and talk about, you know, all the options, maybe you can pick one.
When you're talking about bid, what?
Or not bid, the proposals that have been given to us from local property owners.
That have space that's available.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's at least three general options here. One is record storage in this building.
Mm-hmm.
One is renovating something at the warehouse that would actually fit the bill. And three would be renting from a local property owner.
Mm-hmm.
I err towards actually your idea
Mm-hmm.
because we've got that property.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not displacing anyone or anything.
Yeah, we just have to, you know, buy some drywall and have like a dehumidifier and some other equipment put in there. And I think that since we have this long-term records retention issue,
Right. We need to get the records committee together, if nothing else to talk about their needs, and we should be thinking about how big the space should be. So I know we did a back of the napkin kind of math when we did a walkthrough a few months ago, but yeah, we could get a records committee meeting set up in the next week.
I think the big thing is going to be,
Do we see you on
Yeah, it's the voluntary register and recorder, Linda Kreitzer, you,
Dolores was on there.
oh,
that?
well,
Mine?
that's the treasurer,
Dolores.
Dolores.
Mine.
Yeah, I'm not on there.
Well, I mean, the records committee is set by county code as, I believe, is a representative from the commissioner's office, which I thought was you, register and recorder, someone from the courts, or voluntary, I think the sheriff, I think the treasurer.
yeah.
You can look at the county code specifically, but certainly, you know, anybody that has records, like, this doesn't have to be an official, like, records committee meeting. Just, if you have records that have to be maintained for more than 2 years, then bring them to the meeting.
Yeah, it'd be good with any permanent solution put together to have like a final policy put together where we know, and then have, you know, like Pam or somebody records are removed at the proper date, that, you know, that all the directors have to do is take it to the warehouse and that it's organized properly and stuff like that.
And they don't just take it and set it in the middle of the floor and then
This
nobody
is,
knows what they
yeah, the simpler the better.
Can I make a suggestion? I'd like, as a citizen of Warren County, I'd like to see the records filed here for convenience of the directors and the individual employees of the court, because they go from, and I'll use Phil, if Phil goes from his office to the records and gets it, it's still within the confines of the courthouse, and you still have control over it by it not disappearing or something.
So the reason that we're comfortable with going off-site is because many of these records are already off-site. The reason is because they're scanned. So for the most part, we have to keep the physical document for eternity. But for the most part, like everything in your office is scanned,
All the
right?
data records
Yeah, so, you know, if the department head needs access to the record, they can get it just on the computer. But I think it's primarily the courts, right?
Our really old big books are down there.
That's
Just
what-
really have them in book form here, but
But how often do you access those, like once every?
more often than I'd like, and so I'd like to
Okay.
get the back scan.
Oh, yeah, right. I knew you wanted to get the back scan, but like, how often would we have to send someone down there
If we,
if they were
Now that you've
scanned?
mentioned it, we'll have to, but it's probably been a year before I've had to.
Yeah,
I've
that's
had
a
to
good
do
point.
it.
And one of the big challenges with space here, you know, if it was up to me in a perfect world, I'd get in a time machine, go back to 2002 and convince them not to do the addition on the courthouse, and then use that money to, you know, renovate South Street School or something, I don't know, anything, and move all the county employees out, and then turn the courthouse over to the courts, and then you could easily turn the basement into a record storage facility. But like right now, there's, every single room is filled with the exception of a handful of utility closets and some other things. And even then, we're trying to move them around, so, you know, and then I try to pitch putting it upstairs, but then it's like, okay, there's no elevator access to parts of that end of the building, and there's concern that it would come through the floor. Like the age of the building then becomes a concern too, because you can't move, you know, from upstairs to downstairs. So I don't, without moving offices out, I don't know how you would have records or storage here. I'd love to turn the basement into a record storage space. That's really would be the best utilization of it, but that would require us moving the commissioner's office out, you know, moving everybody on this first floor basically out to like a county facility.
I just, you know, my opinion, I just think it'd be more handier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want to just go down, you know, down a flight of stairs and get the records? Yeah, I mean, I remember having multiple conversations with Sue about it, because every once in a while she'd have to run out there, or upstairs for that matter.
For
So
that matter, some of the prothonotarians are currently in Iron Mountain, so
Yep.
that's 16
We also
miles
have-
away.
We also,
Oh, you do? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, anything else on this topic? Any other I'll move that project into current active projects, and Pam's in charge. Anything else? Any other projects, updates?
we're gonna send out another round of letters to representatives and senators in the state legislature advocating on behalf of the MATP situation. The bill in the Senate that would stop the award of MATP service to a brokerage firm was read on the floor this past week, and from understanding of the procedures, it has to be read on the floor like 3 times and then it can be whatever. Anyway, we're trying to get as many of the represent the senators on the appropriations committee on board with pushing it through, because we have serious concerns about Senator Pat Brown, who's the chair of the committee, moving the bill through the appropriations committee, because he apparently is the one who entered the amendment at the last minute last year and has been heard saying that he will not let it through the committee. So I'm hoping that there's a way that the committee can override. There's like some parliamentary procedure that they can override the chairman. But anyway, chairperson.
Yes, 2/3 vote.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's a way for them to get that down on the floor and vote on it so that we can pass it. That we've had a lot of really good response from the letters that Pam sent out to the other commissioners. We have, I think, 24 counties that have signed resolutions at this point. So getting a good response. And we've had, I also would like to do eventually a citation for Michelle Brooks, as she is the chair of the Human Services Committee on the Senate side, and she pushed that bill through, which is one of the reasons that it's even getting seen in the Appropriations Committee. And Michelle Brooks has just been a fantastic advocate for the situation in the bill, and I really appreciate her work. Like they've sent us several emails and correspondence discussing the issue, and I'm so thrilled that she's championing it.
Anything else?
The city has scheduled their public hearing for May 20th for the LERDA residential LERDA program. They were asking if we wanted to be involved in that. I just wanted to officially tell them that we do. What I'm trying to do this week is get the other municipalities on board with it. From my understanding, for advertising purposes, there's a 10-day window that we have to advertise for a public hearing. So what I'd like to do is this week try to get as many of the municipalities that have already signed on to join the city at their public hearing on the 20th, so that we can all have a discussion about the LERDA program there, or as many as we can. My assumption is that I doubt that the school district will be able to set something up that quickly, but I'd like to try anyway.
We can push that issue hard Wednesday.
Yeah, at the
Leslie
meeting.
Township's
Absolutely.
call being held, and I'll
Absolutely.
support you in any way.
Yep,
I'm sorry, that was the 20th of May?
the 20th of May.
What time? Which I think so.
Yeah, like 6 o'clock, I think. I'll double check. But we have more municipalities sign on. Limestone Township, Geneva Borough. I think Geneva Borough. I'll have to go. I don't know what we're So we probably got almost.
We haven't got meat on it yet, we have to work on meat.
I'm going to meet with Mead on May 6th at their meeting to discuss it with them and try to push them to do it. One of the issues that I've had with this is, and I'm not saying Mead's an issue. I've had other municipalities that have had concern that because like they feel like I'm just driving the thing, that they're not sure what level of support there is, or they haven't. And I think that having us personally reach out to them and again, have a face-to-face conversation will help temper that. Whenever I have somebody ask me, what's the fine print? Like there's no fine print, so I gave it to you. Like you can read it.
It's an opportunity for progress.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What did it? that's it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Upcoming commissioner meeting, I don't think we'll bother doing that today. There were no department updates. The only thing interesting on commissioner schedule is that I have an Knox Law Symposium tomorrow. Does anyone want to go with me?
I'm busy.
Okay. And general discussion. Okay. Your executive session would be on the schedule, but I think we should just wait until we can collect more realistic picture of what the warehouse scenario would look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think the big thing is waiting for the insurance adjuster to
That too, yeah.
determine like what exactly they're gonna do with that.
All right, very good. Anything else for good of the order?
No, I'll be out of the office the 6th and 7th,
Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday.
Dolores will be there.
Doors will be there.
We like to play anyway.
All right, well, on that note, we'll stick our foot
No comment.
Or let's call this meeting adjourned.
I can't,